This is AFKast, the video game podcast. And here's your host, Malcolm Sheaver.
Alright, so we're going to be doing basically a continuation of this four-part, not series, but something, where we are just kind of looking at games, seeing how they can improve, and how they are messed up. And the four of us are going to be doing this for almost every single one. So yeah, like I said, this second one, the first one was the Warzone one, so make sure that you check that out. And then the next two are going to be about Destiny and Rainbow Six Siege, so make sure you check those out in the upcoming weeks. But today's episode of AFKast is going to be about the rise and fall of Call of Duty Zombies. Alright, so first of all, what we're going to be doing is talking about the past Call of Duty games and talking about their zombies. We're just going to be focusing on Treyarch. We're not going to be focusing on like World War II or Infinite Warfare zombies because, frankly, they're shit. So we're going to be focusing on the past ones, and then we're going to be getting into Cold War and kind of how they've been bringing down zombies a notch. And some of it's their fault, some of it isn't, but it's mostly their fault. No, I'm kidding.
Fair.
But, so yeah, so first of all, the Treyarch storyline started in World at War, so long time ago. I actually don't know when World at War came out, but...
A long time ago.
Yeah, just a long time
ago.
ago.
I think either 2007 or 2008, I want to say.
Yeah, I'll say it was definitely in the single
A long
digits.
time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I'm going to hurt you.
But yeah, that didn't really, like, build any story. It was kind of just, like, supposed to be Marines that were fighting zombies in various areas. And then that's kind of how Black Ops 1 started, but Black Ops 1 actually started to add a little bit more story into it because people were kind of reacting to that more. So Black Ops 1 started to build up the Ultimus storyline. And then we had Black Ops 2, which was mainly focusing on the Victus storyline. And then we had Black Ops 3, which was focusing on primarily the Primus storyline. And then Black Ops 3 is kind of where it ended. Black Ops 4 had a experimental storyline along with an official end to the a storyline for the, for all the crews, pretty much. Basically putting everything into the Dark Ether and creating a new timeline, a new Earth, a new universe, essentially, because they essentially destroyed the last one. And kind of how the story is starting out for Cold War is that the Dark Ether is now kind of coming into this new universe. And since everything was kind of shoved into the Dark Ether, we actually have stuff that is returning, like perk machines, the Pack-a-Punch machine, but they're kind of broken and they look like they've been fixed up.
Especially the Pack.
Yeah, Pack-a-Punch is really messed up.
It doesn't even look like Pack-a-Punch anymore. It just looks like
No.
a jumbled parts together.
Yeah. And yeah, so they've been really explaining a lot. But the thing that sucks is like the story that people are experiencing in Cold War. Like the primary group of people who like might do the Easter eggs or don't even do the Easter eggs, but like are getting a little hint when they're starting out or whatnot. You don't really get much out of that. Like you don't get a lot of story unless you try to listen to every single detail, and then you also have to find every single piece of intel around the world and like listen to all of it and stuff like that, and it just doesn't
Add up correctly.
No, it doesn't.
Tedious work.
Well, it adds up, but it's just like
So much to do before you get the
Yeah.
full story.
it feels like you might as well just watch something. Like there's no point in
Doing it yourself.
yeah. It's not like you watch an Easter egg, you do it, you go through that really fun experience of doing an Easter egg and doing it with your friends and stuff, and then getting that satisfying cutscene at the end that adds more to the story. It just doesn't do that, really.
Yeah, you have to comb through all the intel, where half of it's fluff anyways, where it doesn't really give anything to the story, so you have to comb through, find the stuff that's actually telling you something and then piece it together from there.
And in general, the story is kind of fucked as well, because recently it is confirmed that Black Ops storyline and the zombie storyline is combined. Like, Kravchenko is in Black Ops 2, Weaver is in Black Ops 1 and 2. Even before then, there was a ton of ties to I think it was Mason who sent Dempsey into the field. And just different things like that people have found throughout. And Cold War definitely solidifies the fact with Kravchenko and Weaver being there that they are part of the Black Ops storyline. But then Warzone, we talked about this in the Warzone episode a bit more in detail, combined the Modern Warfare story to the Black Ops story. So everything just gets super out of place, and there are so many plot holes and different things that just don't correctly add up. Like, it's
There's
kind of
so
bad.
much going on.
Yeah, it's chaos. Because now everyone has to update their timelines.
What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. At least Modern Warfare didn't have a zombies mode that jumbled it even more.
It would have been pretty bad if they
That
did.
would have been terrible.
Yes. All Infinity Ward games have had bad zombies.
I will say, though, Cold War did do something right where the story is much, much simpler, because I feel like that was something that people complained about a lot in the previous Call of Duty games, is that it was just like, what is going on?
I
Like,
still don't understand it to this day. Like, when you're saying the names of the storylines, I had no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I was like, Ultimus Crew is like the crazy Richtofen, and they're like on Ascension, Moon,
Yeah.
all those.
Victus is Transit,
Yeah.
Crew, and
And then Primus
it's Black Ops 3.
is all like
So a
Grok
little bit
Provi,
of four.
Dreisendrach, the not crazy Richtofen.
They're not crazy.
They're the ones trying to collect the souls from the Ultimate Crew.
Yeah. And then they all do mass suicide at the end of Black Ops 4, so that's fun.
You know how it be.
They do universal, multiversal suicide.
How?
Don't ask.
It's complicated.
Lots of gunshots, including a child shooting someone.
That's true.
Just- We don't have the time to explain.
If we had to explain the entire storyline, we'd be here for at least 3 hours.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Maybe 4.
Bryce with the watching.
For you
video
to understand it, we'd have to go like the whole day.
Oh my god.
It'd be a hell to edit.
Yeah. So like the story is much simpler, and it does contain a bunch of like remnants of the old storyline, which I mentioned earlier, which are like the Juggernog, or like the perk machines, not just Juggernog, and then Pack Punch as well. And one thing that kind of sucks is like the acting and storytelling in general in the game is just really bad. Like it's.
Are we talking about Cold War specifically?
Yeah,
or,
it's so bland.
It's like the characters just don't make sense. Like how you can choose any character, it adds for like story that
Yeah.
doesn't add up correctly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, right now you have Ultimus, Victus, Primus, and then you're just gonna have Requiem team. Like, you're not gonna be able to name names. You just have to say Requiem every time.
nothing notable for
I really
it
do
Yeah.
think that they gave us like a separate selection of characters that we can pick from
for zombies.
for zombies. Like kind of how, like if one person has one character, another person cannot be that character.
I think what they also should have done is allow you to like only pick specific people like in Requiem, because we have the Warsaw Pact people that we can play as Requiem, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could play Adler, which breaks the story. So it's just like, it's kind of cool that you can do that stuff, but it's for story's sakes, it doesn't make any sense.
Only include the characters that would be included with the Requiem stuff.
Yeah.
And DLC characters.
Yeah.
Maybe not even DLC characters if they don't fit correctly.
I mean, like, hey, why not have a little bit of fun? Why not see Rambo or?
But the problem
John
is
McClane?
it creates a whole nother problem where then people are getting content or unable to use it if you don't include the DLC characters, and it's just...
Not to mention, every single time that you go in, you have the possibility of getting Strauss, Gray, or the Colonel. So you got 3 different storylines right there on both D Machine and Firebase C, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing in Marauder Toten.
When is that releasing, by the way?
in like a couple weeks.
Mid-July,
yeah.
probably.
I remember hearing the 17th.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I say I think 15th would be the middle of the Cold War, and then in the middle of season 4, and then the 17th I think is a Thursday, which is when they usually do when they really usually do updates. So I think that's the guest date for that.
Guesstimate.
The guesstimate, yes. I will say, even though the story is a little like kind of jumbled and stuff, it is really interesting and it is really good. But you just have to know the intel. You have to basically just watch a YouTube video online of what the story is. Like, it's not worth it to go through yourself.
And then still not understand it, like Bryce. 3-hour video.
Oh, I only watched like 10 minutes of it and then got bored and watched something else.
Fair enough.
Well, that's also mainly the previous storyline. This storyline's much simpler.
Yeah. Probably fit
but, like
an hour.
The people who don't like watch any of those videos or read any of the intel or anything don't know anything about what people consider to be the One, which is like gonna be this elder god that we're probably gonna have to fight in one of these things.
I've never heard of the One.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
No, I
because
really...
it's all in intel. Like they've just hidden it all there, and it's just that doesn't make it. That doesn't
Fun.
build the story as well as it should. Because I'm guessing for people who don't like read the intel and stuff, the elder god is just gonna come out of nowhere
and just, like, what the hell is this thing?
And then
What's
they're
it
gonna
doing here?
and they're gonna be like, all right, we know exactly what this thing is, and
We
everyone
do?
who's playing is like, no.
And it's like you even have like the mysterious person who you only know if you read the intel.
Don't
So
even
I
know.
feel like they're going to be introduced at some point as well, and it's just
Zykov, I think his name is.
Yeah, it was basically the person who in the D Machine cutscene, you watch go into the bunker.
Yeah.
That never
He,
comes
Oh,
he-
and
he's the
that's,
mysterious person, and he sends messages from the Dark Aether and intel.
Yeah, he's the one who rebuilt the perk machines and the pack-a-punch machine and sent it back through the dark
That's
ether.
why the pack-a-punch machine looks so bad. They have a crazy...
Exactly. And the person who's been in there for a couple 2-3 decades or maybe even longer than that has been in there for like almost 2,000 days because time works differently, but you don't know that because
You don't read intel.
they barely explain anything about how the time is completely different
in the actual game.
in Dark Ether versus the real world. So
You kind of assume that, though. That's how most alternate universes work in games.
So the only way that you can even tell that really is D Machine when you go to the Dark Aether the first time and get back, they're like, you cut out for a couple seconds. That's the only hint they have that the time is slightly different.
And people could even assume that they were just like, they didn't have an exact time. Like, they were just saying a couple seconds as, like, a specified amount of time. But, so moving on from the story to gameplay, the gameplay in Cold War is really easy, but it has some of the best mechanics that, like, if I had the mechanics from this game in the previous zombie games, I feel like I would have a lot more fun actually playing it.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time some of the maps wouldn't work as well if you had some of the mechanics, so it's a little weird to think about it like that, but
Like 9, for example, would work horribly with the current setup.
yeah. 9 would be all of Black Ops 4, because Black Ops 4
Just
you
completely
build
different.
your own like
Perks.
perks, so
Like
it
that or
doesn't
whatever.
work as well. But I do like the upgrade system. I don't think it really makes all that much sense to have an upgrade system, but it's kind of fun to like have there, to be able to like play the game and get something and like upgrade your character by playing the game more. But like I said, it is a little weird. I think it's to make up for prestiging in previous games and having to re-unlock like weapons and stuff. But
I enjoy doing that, so I'm glad the upgrade
but-
system's a thing.
exactly, like people who didn't do prestige, it doesn't matter as much anyway. But one problem I have with the new mechanics is that you can hold more perks. I think it works for the most part, and we have 7 perks right now, which I think works because Tombstone is so useless that we basically only have 6 perks at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think this might go a little too far once we get an 8th perk, and then a 9th perk, and then a 10th perk. Like, we're just gonna have like so many perks. You're just gonna see our bottom line just filled with
Random.
everything,
Yeah.
and it's just gonna be like,
you just get all of them and it just says yes.
yeah,
Perks.
it just says perkaholic at the bottom.
Which, even, like, in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, having a perkaholic was already really strong, but now that you can upgrade the perks as well,
It's gonna be even
so that
stronger.
some of the upgrades for perks make it act like 2 different perks from previous games.
Like elemental pop,
Yeah.
gives you electric cherry.
And just having that where you basically have 2 perks in one slot, and you can have then 10 perks at some point where all of these act as 2 separate perks.
You also have field upgrades, which act as some gobble gums or special weapons or
Some around
various
those
things
lines,
from
yeah.
previous games. Like
Gameplay's easy, to put it simple.
it's okay. I think it was best with 3 tiers. I think with 5 tiers it got a little too OP, and then they're also already talking about
Adding more.
getting like 7 or 10 tiers, which is just insane. Because I can't
And then we're
even think of more tiers for half of the items in the game.
We're literally gonna become gods.
Exactly.
Gods.
Like, it's just gonna be like playing Doom.
I would not be opposed.
Orders
to
won't
that.
stand a chance. Easter eggs, easy.
I think if they made it so there are custom mutations in the game where you can limit what tiers you had,
Yeah.
or how many perks you could have total, even like what health cap and stuff, like I think if you had custom mutations in this game, it would be so much better. But the problem with that is that then a lot of challenges and stuff don't count in the game when you have custom mutations. So if you want to make the game harder, you're also screwing yourself over because you can't get challenges then.
That's one thing I liked about Black Ops 4 is the fact that the mutations existed. You could make the game how you wanted it to play,
Yeah.
and if you didn't like it in a certain way, you could change that for the most part.
Yeah,
Like if you don't like gobblegums, take them out.
yeah.
Perks, out.
Yeah,
So
and then you can
awesome.
also just like make yourself a god as well in in that game. Like you had 2.
That's how we're gonna feel once we get everything done.
Yeah,
10 tiers, 10 perks.
I would say because you're gonna have like if you think about the fact that you're gonna have 10 total perks, just without having to drink a rare perkaholic, or I guess pop one if you're Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Or like doing a bunch of side stuff to get free perks.
Or free perk slots.
Yeah, it's like
What's the point?
it's just so OP. Like I feel like even if we don't go back to 4, even if we just cap it at 6 like it was originally, I think that would even work because then
Yeah.
you'd have to decide what 4 perks you're gonna leave out.
Like if you need
Tombstone.
something. Tombstone's never gonna be used. It's
Tombstone
just
would-
as bad as Black Ops 2.
They'd have
Tombstone
to
would never
add
use
tiers to it to make it good, because at the current state, even with 5
Are
tiers...
you kidding me? At tier 10, it's probably still gonna be useless.
Even with 5 tiers right now, it's still just so bad. When
It's
you
only
have-
useful when I clutch up the Easter egg.
But like when you have quick revive
Yes.
and stuff like that, and it's just
Stuff
not
that
worth
does
it.
relatively the same thing if you're decent at the game. You could be brain dead and still
I was
get
like,
the quick
because
revive.
usually if you revive yourself, the only time
No.
that it's gonna be Tombstone Shadow is gonna be useless or useful is if you for some reason don't have quick revive, some reason don't have a self revive, some reason don't have someone else who has healing aura or is just there, and
Just there.
that's the only time the Tombstone is available, because if you use quick revive to heal yourself, then Tombstone is most likely one of the perks that went away. So then if you go down again, then you're just gonna have to use your self revive
So it's
anyway.
pure luck of what perks you lose when and all that.
In all my time of playing so far, Tombstone Shadows only become useful once.
And invincibility glitch.
Yeah, that's the only time I
That's-
found it useful was
that's besides the
invincibility glitch.
But like in actual gameplay, it was only ever
Yeah.
useful once, and it still barely worked.
Yeah, because then if you get hit while you're reviving yourself,
You're
you're instant dead.
So although I'm pretty sure I got hit while reviving myself and didn't go.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
you
just
have
less
a health bar.
Do you just have less health?
I think
A
so.
lot
I think
less.
and then one of the upgrades actually makes so you can start healing again. I don't remember. I don't use it.
Obviously. I don't know why you would. Bless you.
Oh man, I went down the wrong pipe.
You don't like liquid in your lungs.
No.
Come on, bro. What's wrong with you?
I will say though, even though the perks are a little OP and stuff, I do like the ammo mod system in this game better than I liked it in previous games, just having to get it like out of pure luck. Although that was part of the like skill of the game of being able to survive long enough to get whatever ammo mod you wanted. It's still nice being oh my goodness, being able to choose your own, and then you don't even have to like upgrade your you don't even have to pack punch your gun at all to put an ammo mod on your weapon.
Which I think is stupid. I think they should make it so it has
I have to
be
pack punch
packed.
at least once.
You do?
No,
Or no, like
that-
make it so that, yeah.
make it so that, yeah. I think if they made it so you had to pack punch it once to get an ammo mod, I think that would be better. But I think the fact like how it works now is okay. I think they do need to dial a couple of them back. Like
Brain rot,
Brain rot. Cryo is
really good.
Cryo is really good because like you don't even need the proc for it to be OP.
Obviously, Shatter Blast needs to be nerfed. Obviously.
Shatter Blast needs to be nerfed into the ground.
Ni-
man.
ni-
Honestly, they
So
should just
OP.
remove it from the
And
game.
then you have like kilovolt, whatever it is in this game, kilowatt, where it keeps
Dead wire is it what it is in this game.
It keeps getting really good and then really bad and then really good and then they change it so it's really bad again and it just,
It's just
they
back
can't
and forth.
decide on it.
It's like operators like in Siege that do that as well.
But yeah, like what's wrong with brain rot right now is that it's not only OP how it is, but the brain rotted zombies are also just broken anyway. Like
That's
they,
been every Call of Duty game.
like they literally like I'll see it.
This game especially.
I'll see something brain rot, and then I'll see something running at me from the opposite direction. I see the brain rotted zombie look like it takes a swing at me, and then I just see the head of the other zombie come off
Yeah.
and die. And I'm just like,
Breaks time and space, as you said. in the
What?
script.
yeah. Just breaks time and space.
Crazy.
or it's trying to attack you instead of literally anything else.
Yeah,
but it
sometimes
doesn't do any
sometimes it
damage
just
to you.
starts attacking you for no reason. It doesn't. Yeah, like you said,
And that
it
doesn't
any
do damage to you either.
No, it
Or
doesn't.
you have the Mimic.
But oh yeah,
The mimics are like one of the most overpowered.
They
things.
fixed that.
They fixed that.
They
did
fixed.
they?
Yeah, I was reading the patch notes the other day, and I was like, oh, thank God they fixed it. Because the brain rotted mimics used to just like if you brain rotted them, they would just turn back into a box. It's like they didn't actually attack anything.
Because there was no zombie. If there was no zombies close enough, they would turn back into their box and then.
They would still turn back into a box.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we actually had, like, we would get close to it as if it would still activate because it would, or whatever. And then it would just start slowly moving down that set of stairs. Remember that?
Yeah. I'll say because it would also reactivate, and then it suddenly had a health bar and would attack us again. So like it still said it was brain rotted, but somehow turning back into a box made it like clean off the brain rot or something. I don't know. It was weird.
It just broke the AI.
Yeah.
It got sober.
But the next thing I want to talk about are the maps because
Oh god.
right now we only have 2 maps.
Three, including Outbreak.
I think Season 4 reached the point in Black Ops 3 where Garad Krovi came out in terms of time.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because you have Shadows of Evil, and then you have the Giant, Derize and Drock, and then Garad Krovi coming out.
You had the Giant came out on its own as like its own update, but that wasn't part of a main one. But you had Dryzendrach, Zetsubo.
Oh, that's about, and then Garad
then
Krovi.
Garad-
That book came out before Grodd, but it came out after.
It was Dryzendrach, Zetsubo, Garad Krovi Revelations.
So that means that at that point we already had 4 maps.
Now we only have 3 because.
You had
Machine-
Shadows, and then you had the Giant, then Dryzendrach, Zetsubo. So you have 4 maps right there, and then right now we only have D Machine and Firebase Z, and then Outbreak, I guess.
But Outbreak doesn't count for like round based because it's kind of just
And-
whatever.
Outbreak isn't even exclusive because all those maps are in Fireteam and multiplayer,
Except for Zoo.
which comes out in multiplayer next season.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And not to mention, for like the first couple months that Outbreak was out, it didn't even have an Easter egg. It just existed.
Just recently got added, and it's kind of
Yeah.
one of the more difficult Easter eggs in the game right now.
Didn't they actually, like, make it easier?
Yeah, they did.
It's not that much easier though.
That's just
It's significant.
Okay. No
It's-
need for shade.
It's significantly easier now. Because they heavily reduced the amount of damage that you have to do to its armor in order for it to go into that down state. which is why I was almost able to solo it with 3 players.
Oh. You don't talk about that, right?
I think you just did.
But in general, you have really short and easy Easter eggs. Like the previous Easter eggs, you'd probably like want more people to do them because they're really complicated and have a lot of steps. But the Easter egg steps for like these maps are so sequential that you don't even need more people to really help you out. I think the only one might be D Machine, because you have to get all 4 upgrades for the Die Shockwave.
And having an extra person to help you get some of the upgrades while you're doing another one would be nice, but
then after getting that, it's just protecting it.
But you also have to go like in between the Dark Ether and stuff like that, so you're already screwing someone else over by going into the Dark Ether when they don't need to go into it. So it's like it's still sequential in that sense, where you need to be ready to go into the Dark Ether for both of you. Like if they made it where only one person had to go into the Dark Ether, and that would be so much nicer. But that would also be a really complicated mechanic for them to change now that it's already implemented into the game.
It'd be kind of a useless thing to do because
D Machine isn't really played that much anymore.
Yeah, it's all Firebase or Outbreak.
In general, Cold War isn't played that much anymore. Everyone's been returning back to Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. For zombies, yeah. All of them have been going back to previous games. And I think Cold War actually like relaunched people playing the older zombies games,
which is good,
but doesn't have its own.
It doesn't have its own player base.
Yeah, it doesn't have its own big player base.
Cold War's starting to fall off in general, multiplayer and zombies alike.
I will say Outbreak, even though it didn't have an Easter egg at first, it did get a really big it made people. Like, people really liked Outbreak when it first came out. Like, people were really happy about it because it was a really big change of pace, and it was interesting having, like, an open-world type zombies game, zombies experience. And, of course, people's only issue with it really was not having an Easter egg. And the first one was probably, like, the best Easter egg that we've gotten so far, at least in the end steps. At the beginning, just getting to Rucka was kind of bad, but when you're in Rucka, it's a pretty good Easter egg.
So the beginning of the first Outbreak Easter egg is just memorizing spawn locations for stuff and running and looking at those spots.
Yeah.
Occasionally having a group of zombies to fight off, but that's not hard if you're semi-decent at the game.
I say then the second Easter egg is just like you don't have to do anything. like
you just kind of have to. Same thing as the first one, except the boss fight is 10 times easier, seeing as my dumbass can solo it.
Yeah, it was.
It's not even really a boss fight.
It's just a world event.
Yeah.
The Orda is scaled up a fair bit, though.
Yeah, it has a lot more health, and I think it has a constant flow of zombies, but those two are the only differences. Like, that is so boring, though, just giving something more health. That's kind of how Firebase was, because I remember talking with Bryce before we did the Firebase Easter egg. I was like, watch the Firebase Z boss fight just be a stronger Orda. And it was actually, I'm pretty sure, like, the same health, too.
Felt like it.
So, because we were talking about how we were going to be disappointed if it literally just was Orda. and then it was
were
Orda.
severely disappointed.
And we were just like,
or at least they made the boss fight arena better than the other ones that you fight, or where you fight Orda separately, but it still is just bad.
D Machine was interesting because you didn't necessarily have a boss fight. You had like
escort mission.
You just had like a boss room, kind of, which was pretty cool. But I think a lot of people are looking forward to a boss fight after a long time.
I think that would have been a really cool boss fight area, like at Spawn or whatever.
So it's just like D Machine is just like all the old Easter eggs, like before DE. Where you just didn't have any boss fights. It was just survive a lot of zombies for a set amount of time.
I really hope they also do something. I hope they do a super Easter egg. I think that would bring a lot of people some excitement into the zombies community, having a super Easter egg to do, and not have something like a automatically pack-a-punched pistol that you start out with.
I don't think they're gonna do a super Easter egg because they haven't shown any signs of it yet, but they might change that once all the maps are released. But as of the moment, there's nothing hinting at there's gonna be a super Easter egg.
I don't think there is either, but I still think it would be cool.
I think it would be too.
The thing I also don't like is that, like, D Machine is a little better at this, but it's not that much better at it. But they just, like, tell you everything that you need to do for the Easter egg steps. So everything has been getting solved in the day that it comes out. Like,
Within, like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially with Firebase Z, with literally everything being told to you, spoon-fed into your mouth. Like, if you can't do it by yourself, you need to go get your brain jacked.
Firebase Z
Something's
literally...
not right up there.
Firebase Z, the first team to complete it within 2 hours of the update coming out.
Do you know what team that was? Because
I have no
I'm
idea.
interested.
It's usually different people, different YouTubers that have collaborated with each other. But, like, Bryce and I figured it out pretty easily.
Like, within a day, basically.
Yeah.
There was one step we got stuck on, but once we figured that out, it was just
Wasn't that the thing we had to get the...
capture the mimic.
Yeah. I remember that. You were uber frustrated about that.
You're super frustrated about a lot of things.
It's because I trusted Malcolm, but...
Never trust Malcolm. That's your biggest
You
mistake.
said you captured a mimic. It was just the wrong mimic.
It's fair. I would say it's just... Even, like, the 2 Outbreak Easter eggs are literally the same steps at first. Like, you go to round 3, you find something, you do it, and then you find another thing, you do it, and then you go to a new area, and then you do an objective
Which,
there.
the second Outbreak Easter egg isn't even a new area for a map. Whereas, like,
Yeah, it's just
Outbreak,
Sanatorium.
the first Outbreak Easter egg, you had that whole underground missile silo, which that was completely
was
new,
sick.
made specifically for the Easter egg.
That was really cool, actually.
But
loved it.
the Outbreak 2 Easter egg is just, you go to the other part of Sanatorium that got cut off when they made it a Outbreak map.
Yeah,
Which
so
is
it's literally just
dumb
another
because
part of
Sanatorium's
multiplayer.
pretty small as a map.
Do you think they might expand that now that we've
Doubt it.
been over there?
I don't
Outbreak?
think so.
Probably not.
They might, but it's Treyarch.
It would have been cool if, like, once you did that, you were able to play on the full map of Sanatorium. That would actually be pretty cool. That'd be like a nice little, like,
Be a reason to do
here
it.
you go.
Or once
Yeah.
the first team got the Easter egg done, it opened it for everyone.
I don't know about that
Yeah,
one.
that seems a little...
Because then it kind of defeats the purpose of the Easter egg, because the Easter egg is the whole, you're going outside of the map.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also Outbreak is also supposed to take place before you get shot down from the helicopter in the second Easter egg. So technically, it wouldn't make sense if you opened it either.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing we won't have Raptor 1 anymore in any future Easter eggs.
It'll be Raptor 2.
Raptor 2.
Raptor Dose.
Actually, it could be Raptor 1, 2. That's how they do
Raptor
it.
12.
Raptor funny number.
I would say another problem with the maps
It's
that I have
fuck off.
isn't just the main Easter eggs, but it's also the side Easter eggs, because like there's just nothing. Like we talked about this a little bit in the Warzone one, but like the most that we have is like D Machine. You can have 4 different types to your wonder weapon. They're not even 4 different wonder weapons that people can separately pick up, like the scepters in Origins.
The bows or the staffs
Yeah.
from Origins.
I meant to say staffs, but it slipped out wrong. The B got
I mean,
in
they
there somehow.
are kind of bows. So
They're kind of the same thing.
I mean,
Bows
B
and
B O,
staffs.
not BOW. But and then you can wait. Can you? No, you can't. Oh yeah, you can get free Juggernog in D Machine, and then you can get free Jug in Firebase Z as well, and then a
And
free perk.
random.
But like the problem I have with that is that it's not even a free power up like it is, and if you do the Horde Patrol and Outbreak, it's just a random perk that you can like actually pick up off of the ground, which means that it can be something that you already have in your inventory. Like I got the free Jug once when I was playing by myself, and then I got the random perk being Juggernog again. So I was just like,
You probably threw your controller after that. I honestly
I was
would.
like, what was even the point of doing all that if I just got the same thing? Like, I should be
Yeah.
able to get 6 perks and then do the random perk Easter egg to get my 7th perk. Like, I shouldn't have to...
I mean, I really do
Keep
think
as
that,
little perks as
that doesn't
possible.
really do the entire random thing if you just have the 6 and then go and do the 7th.
Well, it's not random, but I can guarantee that it's going to be that 7th perk.
Basically, it saves you the points then.
Because then I can just get free Tombstone.
Yes, sir.
You always get Tombstone, so you're not gonna.
Yeah,
worry
I
about
always
it.
Either
get,
Tombstone
I
or
get Tombstone
Deadshot.
anyway. But yeah. One of the things that I do like that they added into all the maps are the trials. The trials are pretty cool because it allows you to get some really good weapons,
Wonder
and
weapons.
is another way to get wonder weapons for your entire team. Since there's pretty much only one wonder weapon per map, and not even on Outbreak do you have a specific wonder weapon,
They just add one.
which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then I will say, even though the intel does make the story really secretive to casual players, like actually having obtainable intel is actually really cool in the game. And I will say there is some intel that, like, some ciphers that you can find around the map that you can't actually pick up, which is still pretty nice. So, like, you still have some kind of hidden stuff to it, but it's also nice for, like, more casual players and stuff to be able to pick up random intel and get a little bit of information out of the world without having to have someone train a zombie while you're writing down a cipher really quickly that's really hard to see.
Yeah.
So
The one thing that annoys me about the intel, though, is it's not like... There are some things where it's like, oh, you have a set intel at one location. You go to the location, you pick up the intel once you have it. Whereas there are other ones where it's...
Random.
There's a radio. You have to hit this radio 100 times. You can only hit it once per game.
yeah.
So you have to go to this radio, hit it, get the intel from it, quit out, go back into the game, go to that radio again, hit it, get the intel from it, and you have to do that like 100 times, and it's just...
Yeah.
And then with trials, you have to wait until you get an
specific
intel.
Drop.
Yeah, you have like the intel picture instead of the treasure chest picture, which signifies you can get intel out of it, which is really annoying because you always have like double digits for all the dark ether intel that you have to pick up.
Yeah. Can I add something on about the side Easter eggs though?
Yeah.
I feel like for most of the side Easter eggs, from what I've experienced, they just lead into the main Easter egg, so they're not even really side. Like,
Yeah, like
you
the,
have to do them
like
to get
a-
through the main Easter egg.
Yeah, like the free perk. The only thing that's different is getting Sergei's head and then trapping a regular zombie. So you need to go all the way up to having the data things anyway to throw down onto the ground to pick
Yeah,
up a
so it's
zombie.
kind of just like, just do the normal Easter
So
egg
you,
and you're
so
doing
you
all
really
the side.
can get,
Yeah.
get the two done at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you time it right.
Not even, yeah.
As I'm pretty sure that's what we did when we originally did the
But
Easter egg.
it's
When
just
we didn't know
like-
how hard it was to.
The old maps
Do
and
it.
stuff just used to have so much more to their side Easter eggs. It was
Mhm.
crazy.
It was a complete different Easter egg, basically,
Like,
leading on to something.
Me and Malcolm talked about Blood of the Dead a lot,
Mm-hmm.
where you have the Hell's Retriever, which is required for the Easter egg, but then you get the Hell's Redeemer, which is a whole another Easter egg you can do. And then you have the Spoon, which that's required for the Easter egg, isn't it?
Yeah, because you have to scratch open a wall.
So you have the Spoon, which is required for the Easter egg, but then you can upgrade it to the Golden Spork and then the Golden Spork Knife, which are all their own Easter eggs as well.
Yep. Complicated as hell Easter eggs too.
And then you have the shield, and then the
Makes it
upgraded
fun.
shield. And it's just, you have all
One
these
more
different
thing.
things you can do, where it's...
The blunder gat, the acid gat, the
Yeah.
magma gat.
Will say one thing. I do kind of miss the fact that there's not any shields at all. Like, as
Yeah,
Bryce was
that's-
saying,
that's my
it
one
takes
issue
away
with it,
from the
too.
things to do on the map before you do the Easter eggs.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
all that you have on these maps is
The Easter
go
eggs.
stare at a location, get a free jug, and the main Easter egg.
The only buildable table is the Ray K.
Yeah?
That's the only one in the entire game.
That's the only one in the entire
They
game.
need to add, like, I know
Really?
why they don't add shields because of the field upgrades, but like, and the armor. But
Yeah.
still, I feel like they should add
Say,
something
that's,
like
yeah,
that,
that's their reason for not having shields, just the armor system in the game.
which is good, but also kind of annoying.
I think the armor system's pretty cool.
I liked BO4's armor system.
I did.
Like, I wish there was, like, kind of a mix where it was, like, really rare to get armor, but there was
still
no way
get-
to, like, regen it or anything, but it was like the BO4 armor system where you could still have the shield, but you have that little bit of armor as well.
Yeah, like when you activated a special weapon, it would give you armor. Then when the special weapon was done, the armor would go away. Or there's like specific elixirs that you could drink that would give you like I think it was Suit Up that would give you full armor.
For like, a
Or you
set
have,
amount
And
of
that
time.
armor was really OP though.
Yeah.
So it
Or
was,
you had, like, Stone Cold Stronghold, where when you stay in that tight area, you get armor for killing zombies and all of that to promote you being able to stay in that area.
But yeah, I honestly think, in general, zombies would be much better off because Activision has screwed over zombies a lot.
Activision screws up a lot of things.
Well, also when Jason Blundell left as well, it like zombies just kind of fell off a cliff. Like,
yeah, because that was during end of BO3, right?
yeah. As when Zombies Chronicles came out, Jason Blundell was done.
And then after that, BO4 is considered one of the worst zombies games to date for most people.
It's considered one of the worst Call of Duty games to date.
Well, yeah, but zombies is pretty...
I think not.
Well, I don't think BO4 is bad. That's only because it's the game I played a lot during its actual life cycle.
Yeah.
I really can't say much about Black Ops 4 because
You didn't play it.
the only time I ever played it was when it was a free weekend, and even at that, all I was able to play was Blackout.
Yeah. I would say BO...
Dude.
A lot of people, like, enjoy BO2, and that's a lot of the nostalgia to it.
Yeah.
And then BO3 was, like, the really good zombies. Everyone loved the zombies in BO3. Well, I'm not going to say everyone, but...
Most people.
A lot of people loved the zombies in BO3. It was really well done. But then Jason Blundell left, and BO4 came out. And a lot of people just kind of fell off the zombies train when that came out, because it wasn't as good at BO3. I still enjoyed it, and I know a lot of people who enjoy it, but it's...
They also tried focusing on the chaos story a
Yeah,
lot.
they took away from the story that people had spent the past 8 years on it, and they were trying to push this other story that no one really cared about, and so people just kind of fell off the train.
I would say the Black Ops 4 Easter eggs were also like really good story wise, but they were also like
Difficult.
they weren't difficult. They were just like
They were
really
some.
tedious.
Yeah.
Shadows of Evil is probably one of the most tedious / difficult ones I've watched in...
So you do the same thing in like 4 different areas.
So Shadows of Evil isn't
over and over
hard
again.
at all.
Any
It's just
Easter egg is hard
tedious.
for me, okay? My brain's small and can't comprehend what the hell's going on.
Fair,
At
but...
least I can admit it.
But like for Black Ops 4, it was just like go to this location, press this, go to this location, press this, go to this location, melee that.
I didn't do a single Easter egg in Black Ops 4, and I do not regret it at all. Because
I
all
know-
I've heard is they're bad.
So I know how to do most of the Black Ops 4 Easter eggs. The only one I've actually done is 9.
Yeah, same.
I think I did 9 with you at one point, or we tried
Yeah.
to do 9.
I think
And
all
then
3 of
failed
us.
horribly.
I think all 3 of us did 9.
Because we all suck.
But I honestly think because of Activision and stuff, and the fact that Call of Duty itself is like Zombies is its own community that's mostly separate from Call of Duty. Mostly. So I feel like if they were just to make a separate Zombies game, for one thing, that would be a massive strain of revenue because you could market them as 2 completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd also be able to get so much more funding and so much more
Support.
interest into the game instead of it being marketed as, oh, this is Call of Duty game, here you go. By the way, there's zombies in it.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I know people who are like, oh, I don't want to install like a 120 gigabyte game
Yeah.
just to play zombies.
Yeah, that's how I
think-
am for...
I think what would be an interesting feature is if like they did what they did with Warzone. Make
separate.
Call of
Oh,
Duty
make it all
Zombies
separate?
as its own
Oh.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could go through and choose, like, if you want BO3 style zombies
Kind of
on
like how
whatever
Halo
maps.
3 has, or Halo MCC has
Bro,
games separate.
Zombies collection game.
But, like,
On God.
I think it'd be cool if, like, you could
There's a lot of
then
maps.
go between the different maps and play with the different game styles. So, like, you could play BO3 zombies with the gobblegums and all that on Tagged or Toten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
there'd
you
be
could play-
there'd be some features that you'd have to obviously fix up to make it flow smoothly, but...
And obviously you can do all that with like mods and stuff, but that's one complication is, mods.
PC.
Mods.
Not to mention that, if you do it as the game itself, that's also just good marketing for you. Like why
Yeah.
why don't you do it? It's
'Cause-
like $60 for Call of Duty, $60 for zombies. You're getting you're getting
I
both.
think the one thing that like kind of united Zombies community and the multiplayer community for COD was Outbreak. Kind of combined them a bit because people liked playing a game mode that was pretty chill and laid back after getting pissed at multiplayer for 24 hours because it's multiplayer.
I would say
With wave-based, it's kind of like there's so much shit to do that some people don't want to go and chill on that because it's not as chill as just running around at Outbreak.
just recently, like about a month ago or maybe a little longer, Jason Blundell announced his own company. And so I would be really excited if he is making his own zombies game that is it's like its own story. Because
It's
I
like,
doubt
'cause-
he would be able to get it from Treyarch.
Yeah,
No.
he wouldn't be able to get the
You have to
rights
pay millions just to get like half of it.
But I would definitely be up for playing
Buy
his
it
zombie
instantly.
games.
It wouldn't even be a contest. I'd buy it.
Yeah, because
He's made so much good shit in the past.
What's the name of the company? Or do you not remember?
I don't remember it.
I'm saying the one thing that would worry me about that is if he gets good gameplay. Like Jason Blundell's really good at the story side of it.
He needs a good developing
so
team.
cryptic.
Yeah, he's really good at making the story and stuff, but the gameplay kind of just comes down to the games he was on. So it's
Yeah, he
kind
had a
of
good team
He
for-
needs to also have a good team for designing the game and making the gameplay smooth and not just the story of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Left 4 Dead did it like the opposite way. They had really good gameplay, but the story just wasn't fucking there.
That's pretty much how
Yeah.
Cold War is right now, and even the gameplay is pretty bad because just
Boring. It gets stale.
It's so easy.
Nothing to do.
like if you took the difficulty from Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 and put it into
Cold War.
Cold War with its current mechanics, it would be amazing.
But they're not going to do that because it's Treyarch and Activision.
Yeah, I will say I
Mainly
don't
Activision.
like 3-hit downs. Those are annoying.
3 hit downs. You're running around a corner, a zombie just slaps you 3 times right quick.
let me
and-
rephrase. I'm okay with 3-hit downs. I'm not okay with instant 3-hit downs.
Yeah, where like one zombie hits you twice instantly,
And then another zombie comes and boop,
Yep.
right to the back
that's
of the
always
head.
been a problem.
Just
Like
a-
BO2, it was so bad.
And you're down.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing BO2 in transit or town and you're running through lava and already took damage, then you can just get one or two.
And you get
hit.
those monkeys too when you're running
The
through
monkeys, dude.
Denizens. Gotta love the denizens.
That was honestly one of the worst decisions they've ever made in zombies.
You know,
what
like,
the hell were they?
Going through, again, I told you guys this already, but when I was growing up, I didn't have, Xbox Live or whatever, so I would just be playing, like, whatever I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be playing Transit, and my record on Transit is like 30-something,
Hey,
which is
that's my
which is
boy.
pretty good in and of itself.
You rejecting my high five.
Well,
We'll have to
But
cut
like,
that out.
but the monkeys, just like the monkeys in the bus and the lava, just made it a living hell.
Yeah,
just trying
Transit
to
is
get
living.
there.
Transit
That's
is
what they
such
try
a
to make zombies
badly
is,
designed
a
map.
living hell.
I mean, understandable.
But it's like you.
They don't need to make a map
The
like
bus
it.
is on like a 20-minute rotation. I think it's 20 minutes
Something like that.
between the locations. A couple of locations are completely blocked off from each other by lava. If you want to run between the locations, anyways, you have to go through all the denizens
And
and,
then
worry about
zombies
all
And,
that.
and you have to
you.
remember the route too, because I've lost games because of
You just forget where you are.
Wonder
that's actually how my streak got ended, was because there's a part where the bus goes over a set of train tracks,
Yeah.
and because of how dense the smoke is specifically in that area.
There's a hole you can't see.
Yeah, there's I couldn't see like the monitor. I couldn't see the camera. And it's just like, and I was just knifing they get the monkey or whatever the hell it is,
Denizens.
denizens off.
Monkeys, basically.
And I turned around. There's no zombies. Turned back around. No zombies in front of me. I go to turn around again. There's a horde.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
And then it's like if
Okay.
you wanted to get like the wonder weapon on the map, the jet gun, you
Why
had
would
to,
you want to get that?
you had
jet
to
gun's so
run
bad.
through all this,
I didn't
all the
even know
fog
what
on the
a
map
wonder
and all of
weapon
that.
Fucking-
Because there's even areas that are hidden in the
Good.
fog, like you wouldn't even know
Not.
are there. You have the
Not.
I
entire.
didn't
That's
even
part of the
know, I
Easter
didn't
egg.
even know that there were.
There's like a
there was
massive
wonder weapon.
There's a massive cornfield
Yeah,
you
the
can
jet
run
gun.
through
Oh yeah,
and
no,
get to
I know
Nox.
about I know about the cornfield.
Yeah, Nox back there, and there's a piece to the jet gun in Nox. There's a piece to the jet gun in like a tunnel, but there's like a whole radio tower you can go to, and
The
all of
jet
that.
gun
That's
is just
like
so useless.
it's all just hidden by the fog, and if you don't know it's there, you'll never go to it. You don't know these
And
areas
my-
of the map.
And
My-
Nox is part of the Easter egg on that map too, isn't it? You have to go to Nox
The
to
map
get-
has an
yeah.
Easter egg.
Yeah, Transit has technically 1.5 Easter eggs.
1.5.
Because
Well,
you
I
have
know that- I
you
know
have
that
the
when
Easter
you-
egg, and you can play it for either Maxis or Richtofen, which have different steps.
Yeah, it's for all
That's
three of
how
them.
most of Black Ops 2 is.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is like with like World at War, you didn't even know that zombies existed until you completed the campaign of the game, and then it was like, oh,
Is that how
here's-
is that how they did it?
yeah,
Oh, that's
because then
cool.
there was like, oh, we have this like experimental thing, zombies, that you can check out now, and it blew up and people loved it, and so then Black Ops 1 they brought it back and started adding a story and everything like that. And then it started blowing up even more. Black Ops 2 gameplay got smoother, added more to the story. People didn't like the maps as much.
Fuck Transit.
Then they brought it back with Origins, but
Yeah, they brought it back, but then you came out with Black Ops 3, which a lot of people consider to be the like top point for zombies. And then Black Ops 4 kind of fell off the wagon a little bit more, but it officially ended the storyline, which a lot of people are glad with, which a lot of people are happy with. The storyline for the Broken Cycle is actually really good. Black Ops 4 didn't have the greatest gameplay for zombies. And then Cold War is basically this like renewal, like just brand new system of a game, brand new story, everything. And obviously there's a lot of ties and stuff because you're still in the same
universe.
Well, technically you're in a different universe, but
Same character.
It's technically you have the Aether
It's the same
storyline and the
story.
Dark Aether storyline.
Yeah.
This happens after the storyline from the previous games, but so there's callbacks to the other storyline, but it's technically its own storyline now.
I'm gonna go use the restroom.
all right.
It's about to end anyway, so.
But yeah, so Cold War is kind of at the like dying point, and if they really don't step up their game with how the maps are going to be working out, like a lot of people are expecting Marauder Totem to be absolutely amazing. Me personally, I'm excited to play it, but I'm just like, I don't trust that it's going to be good.
I'm expecting it to be hot garbage when it first comes out, and then with time.
I hope that they have.
The problem is with time.
Yeah.
That's the part that's bad.
It needs to be good on release, or it's going to go nowhere. I just hope that they have a good Easter egg on it, because when the first Outbreak Easter egg came out, the devs made a comment, oh, we hope this Easter egg is harder and takes longer for people to figure out, because the Firebase, Z Easter egg, and D Machine were so easy. The devs literally made a comment, we hope that this one is harder for them to figure out. And then people still found it within a couple hours. And the only thing that made it last longer was you had to wait until round 3 before you could do any steps.
Yeah.
And then they come out with the next Outbreak Easter egg, which is even easier. So I just hope that they're taking that... We hope that this is harder to figure out to heart with Marauder Totem. I hope they go back to like BO2, BO3, BO4 days where it's actually something where
I hope
you
they
have
actually
to strive
have
to find
substance to the
also,
maps.
Like, some people might not agree with me on this, but I kind of think that it'll be kind of cool if we could have it, like, the steps be elongated, because I just think that, like, having all of that to hype up the final fight, or whatever.
Well, elongated is different than complicated steps as well.
Probably a combination of the two, so that it takes a bit longer for people to figure it out, and B, so it's like,
Well,
so it can also be fun while doing it.
only problem is just like artificial length to Easter eggs kind of pisses people off. That's why people didn't like the Outbreak Easter eggs as much, because you had to wait until round 3. The only thing that was okay with that was that you were able to shoot the thing to skip around.
Which even the speedruns don't even allow that.
No, they do.
No, the speedruns for Outbreak Easter eggs, you have to advance through the rounds.
Every single one I've seen, they always shoot
I don't know, the actual rule set for the speedrun is you have to advance the rounds. If you're going to like do the speedrun competitively, you have to advance through the rounds normally.
Could have sworn the world record one they shot the thing. But,
What thing are you talking about?
The beacon.
The beacon that you use to warp to the next area, if while you're teleporting you shoot it or melee it a lot, it will break.
Basically, if you break it,
you'll watch it
you
actually
damage it.
break, and it will skip an extra round.
It'll also make a sound. But yeah, so that's the zombies episode. Hopefully, Marauder Totem's gonna be a lot better. Hopefully.
We can only hope.
And honestly, a lot of people always like are hyping up for it and stuff, and I'm just asking like how you can hype up for it. Like,
I'm Cold War. Like,
I mean, I'm kind of excited to play it, but at the same time, just with all the previous shitty experiences, like it's just not
exciting.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen. You have that brain. You have the voice in the back of your head saying, "Hey, this might be good," but at the same time, your own conscience.
Your common sense.
Yeah,
is
it's probably gonna be dog shit.
But yeah, so we can only hope the next episode or the next game that we're gonna be bashing is gonna be Destiny 2.
Hell yeah.
So we're actually gonna be doing that today as well. Same thing with the Siege episode. So you're gonna see us just same shirt, same everything. So
Oh, bro, I can change right here. Don't
No.
No, I have shorts on under. I'm probably gonna
so
switch into shorts.
don't think we're people who just don't ever change your clothes.
No, we don't. He hasn't changed in at least a year. This man hasn't changed in a couple
He hasn't
months.
taken a bath since he was a child.
Neither of you.
What's water?
Every gamer ever? What the fuck is water? And how does
What's
it flow out of this
What's
shit?
sunlight?
Grass exists? What the fuck?
But yeah, so that was Zombies episode. We got 2 more games to go. Next one will be Destiny. Make sure you check that out next week. But besides that, game on.
Find AFKast on Instagram and Twitter, at AF Community, for any updates on future podcast episodes. If you want to join the community Discord, find a link in the description or on the website, afcommunity.com. Special thanks to DJ Augie for making the music for this podcast.